Good evening, everyone. Today, we are excited to introduce an emerging technology that has the potential to redefine workplace accessibility, the brain-computer interface, or BCIs. In this presentation, we'll explore BCIs and how they can provide new opportunities for our company. We'll also discuss impacts and pitfalls, as well as recommendations for us and how we can utilize BCIs to create a more inclusive and innovative work environment. Now, what are BCIs? Many employees with physical disabilities face significant challenges using traditional input devices like keyboards and mice. This limitation can hinder their productivity and inclusion in the workplace, creating a need for innovative solutions that enable these employees to interact with technology more effectively. And this is where BCIs come in. BCIs bridge the gap between human cognition and technology by interpreting brain signals and allowing users to control devices such as computers, robots, and other technologies using their thoughts without any physical movement. These interfaces can either be non-invasive, worn on the head, or invasive, implanted in the brain. And a little bit about the evolution of BCI technology. Brainwaves have been mapped as early as the late 19th century. Teams have been intercepting and labeling signals from the brain through EEGs throughout the 20th century. And although BCIs have been developed as early as the mid to late 60s to encode these messages, it wasn't until 1973 that computer scientist Jacques Vidal coined the term brain-computer interface in his paper Toward Direct Brain-Computer Communications. Seen here is one of Vidal's first graphics outlining the brain-computer interface and an inter-electrode correlation map. The 1970s and 80s saw tests on rats, mice, and monkeys, which laid the foundation for neural decoding in BCIs. In 1998, neurologist Philip Kennedy and colleagues implanted the first invasive BCI. The patient was able to control a cursor and spell his name from a list of letters at the rate of about 3 characters per minute. In 2014, with funds drying up and the FDA turning against him, Philip Kennedy desperately wanted to study BCIs on patients who can confirm the outputs. So he volunteered himself in Belize, costing him $25,000. Also in 2014, a quadriplegic man uses BCIs to regain limited control over his hand using a brain-controlled electrical stimulation system. This study represented a significant advancement in the field of neural prosthetics, demonstrating the potential for BCIs to restore some motor functions in individuals with severe paralysis. And in 2021, a paralyzed man texts 90 characters per minute using a BCI that decodes neural activity related to handwriting, texting at speeds 2 times faster than able-bodied adults by simply thinking about the letters. So where are we today with BCI? Two leaders in the field of BCI developments are NextMind and BrainGate. NextMind has developed a non-invasive BCI headset that uses sensors on the head to measure brain activity. It uses machine learning to decode output, allowing users to control virtual buttons by focusing their thoughts on them. Some of these uses include texting and changing channels, playing instruments, producing music, moving the users through both 2D and virtual reality games, and my favorite, operating smart home devices with just their mind. NextMind was purchased by Snap in 2022 and will be incorporated into future versions of smart glasses to enable touchless augmented reality experiences. BrainGate, a pioneering BCI research team operating since the 2000s, develops implantable neural interfaces to restore communications and mobility for people with disabilities. In August 2024, BrainGate achieved a significant BCI breakthrough by enabling a patient with ALS to communicate through synthesized speech. This system translated his brain signals into text, which was then vocalized by a computer, achieving up to 97% accuracy, the highest reported for this technology. In addition, with the use of AI and old recordings of his voice, they were even able to recreate his actual voice. So not only can physically disabled persons be helped by this technology, but this advancement also offers renewed hope for individuals with severe speech impediments due to neural conditions. And next, Charles is going to discuss all of the wonderful opportunities for us as a company.
Yeah, thanks, Tracy. So, Tracy gave us a good history of BCIs and kind of where we are today. I'm going to switch gears a little bit and just talk about, the opportunities and the impact it could have on our business. So, one of the major impacts is BCIs can help us tap into an underutilized talent pool that we don't have access to today. Excuse me, BCIs allow employees to interact with digital systems using brain signals, right, instead of the manual input devices like a keyboard and a mouse. So that makes it possible for those employees or those potential employees with physical impairments to navigate our software and our applications. Um, the It's an inclusive technology as well. So we're removing these physical barriers. The BCIs help us with can help open up roles in our sales and our support teams to individuals that we may not have access to or been able to utilize just due to their mobility and dexterity issues. It opens up some diversity and inclusion as well. So BCIs can help our company recruit and retain skilled professionals from a demographic that was often overlooked. Even just the retention, if we have employees today that maybe have a physical injury, we can use BCIs to retain them and keep their knowledge. And then also just untapped expertise. So the pool of talent that we never were able to tap into today. Using these technologies, we can start to leverage the insights and the skills from those individuals who typically were not able to, get into a technical type role previously. Also, just boosting employee productivity. BCIs in general can help boost employee productivity, but as Tracy had mentioned, there was a time, or there is a time, where BCIs actually were people were able to type faster or create strings of characters faster than people could either on a keyboard or a mouse or with handwriting. So, it helps with just opening up the doors again to those individuals who may not be able to use a standard keyboard and mouse. But it also helps with faster communication. So BCIs can help with just more of a rapid response to our customers, or being able to just create messages by in navigating through the brain signals that we already have today, as well as just streamlining workflows. So they can, somebody who maybe can't use a standard mouse and keyboard, they can do tasks like data entry or communications using our support tools, and even can do that faster than somebody using a mouse and keyboard. So a lot of productivity opportunities using BCIs. So we talked about some of the pros, but I do want to touch on some of the cons. So some of the challenges and pitfalls that come along with BCIs. So, there is a few things to think about. One major one is privacy and security. So the brain, right, a lot of sensitive data in there, a lot of highly personal data. So one thing we would need to think about is, how do we protect the employee's privacy? And one way to do that is to make sure that we're meeting or even maybe setting the standards for what is the regulatory standards around biometric data. Another concern is user comfort and health considerations. Prolonged use or ergonomic design here, prolonged use of BCI device could lead to potential fatigue. But there are specialized headsets that can be leveraged from known BCI manufacturers or leaders today. And then the cost and the infrastructure investment as well. Kyle's going to touch on this a little bit, but there is a high upfront cost to invest in the hardware and software needed to implement BCIs into our business. But a good cost analysis around requirements and the dedicated resources will really help make sure that we're prepared when it comes to cost and infrastructure investment. So with that, I'm going to set it over to Kyle, talk a little bit more about the future and some recommendations.
Thanks, Charles. As you said, there would be some high intro costs to this venture. And I think what everybody's asking themselves is, should we do this? Is it worth it? And based on our projected cost versus benefit analysis, we show that despite the large intro up cost of the hardware, the software, the training, all of the things that come along with it, the benefit over time, regardless of the maintenance costs along the way, is severely going to outweigh the cost behind any of it. Thinking about how we can utilize this technology and really attracting a talent pool that we just never thought was available. The people that we can attract and really maintain. We won't have the turnover that we normally would have. We're going to have a loyalty from a workforce that sees us as somebody that they can't get this accessibility to work anywhere else. So it will provide a competitive advantage and will attract some of the best talent pool to our company. Some of the other things that we can look forward to in the future to really establish a more competitive advantage than this would be in improving our training initiatives. We're going to attract people that may not be necessarily qualified for what we're looking for them to do, but we can tailor our training initiatives to help teach people and individuals to function at a higher level than they even may have thought was possible. And then you look at how BCIs can track the neural responses to our ads, our products, our campaigns, and really track what is attracting our consumer base. These things coupled with an AI chatbot could be highly beneficial to what we're trying to do. So embracing BCIs, it's not just a technological upgrade, but it is a strategic move towards sustainable growth and innovation for years to come. Charles, at this point, is going to wrap everything up and really tie it all together for you.
All right, thanks, Kyle. So yeah, wrapping things up, where do we go from here? So just a quick recap. Tracy talked about the evolution of BCI technology and a little bit about the current application and opportunities today. I talked about the impact on the accessibility and even productivity of our employees and potential employees. A little bit about the challenges and just integration concerns around implementing BCI technology. And then Kyle finished things up with what's the future potential and how does that align with our strategic goals. So next steps, from leadership, from a top down here, we want to get full buy-in and support on kicking off, do an assessment, right? What are our business needs and what are the use cases? Conducting a feasibility test and a risk analysis. Then starting a pilot and actually doing a small scale implementation to see, is this working and are we getting, is this going to work for our business? Along with that is developing our training and the adoption strategy, and then taking a look, a step back a little bit and just see, are we seeing the ROI and is this viable in the long term for our business? And then ultimately coming up with our compliance and ethical guidelines. And then lastly, really start to think about some of the things Kyle mentioned, planning for the future, full scaling, and more innovation. So we're excited to talk about BCI technologies. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you all very much. Everyone have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.